Caribbean citizenship is officially higher price now, with a price floor of $200,000 for the donation route, and in some countries, in some cases, up to $500,000 in real estate or entering European golden visa territory. We're going to discuss the new prices, the different options between the 5 countries, and is it even worth it to become a Caribbean citizen by investment. The country that I chose, St. Kitts and Nevis, $150,000 cost me. Now it will stay at $250,000. The lowest price out of all of the countries. They're pretty much priced all the same, just like they were before, but with the price floor of $200,000, we have Dominica at $200,000 for a donation. Then we have Antigua and Barbuda at $230,000. It's $200,000 plus $30,000, the same as it was before, $100,000 plus $30,000. Now the price floor of $200,000. Then we have Grenada at $235,000. If you have any specific reason for becoming a Grenadian citizen, if you fancy that specific passport, or you want to be outside of the hurricane belt, it's going to cost you $5,000 more. Or if you compare with Dominica, $35,000 more. Then we have St. Lucia, which is going to be minimum $240,000 US, up from $100,000 US. Now it's going to cost you $250,000 to become a St. Lucian citizen. And then obviously we have St. Kitts and Nevis at $250,000. So from $200,000 all the way to $250,000. Very similar prices depending on the specific fees. And obviously if you want to go the real estate route, then we're talking about bigger numbers. In some cases $350,000, in some cases $450,000 if we're talking about a family of 4. In my opinion, I have to say that if you need a second passport and you have the money, you have 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, where $250,000 doesn't matter that much to you, definitely get it. But there are better options. For $250,000, for example, I was looking at the Latvian golden visa. I was in Riga, Latvia, and I found a great apartment in a new development in the center of the city for 250,000 euros, which is around $250,000. That qualifies for a Latvian golden visa, and then you have access to the whole of the Schengen area. So if your goal is to get access to the Schengen area, then you rather just buy an apartment for the same price, and now you have access to the Schengen area. And you don't need to get citizenship by investment. If your goal is to have another passport, another country, or another collection of countries to call home, then maybe it's still worth it. But the due diligence is going to get stricter. They're talking about imposing quotas. For example, Estonia, the country where I'm in right now, has some quotas depending on what country you come from. If you come from India, there's a specific India quota where they can't pass that number of Indians getting residency in Estonia. The same thing is being planned for the Caribbean, where there's going to be a quota for how many applications can be submitted. Although I think the number of applications will drop dramatically over the next couple of months. Now the processing time is going to be way longer. Don't expect a passport in 3 months, in 4 months, in 6 months like I got it. It's going to be minimum 8 to 10 months because they need to check your application properly. In some cases, it's going to take longer than a year. And you have other countries that have citizenship by exception programs that are very similarly priced to the Caribbean. So you invest 300,000 euros in a country in Eastern Europe or in Latin America, and you can get citizenship in less than a year. That's a better deal. That's a bigger country. That's a more respected country. And overall, I still see that threat of losing access to the Schengen area, even with all these prices, even with more due diligence, even with more checks and a harder process and a longer process. I still think that we might lose that Schengen and UK access. Like in the case of Dominica, they lost the UK, and they're priced lower than all the other countries if you don't care about going to the UK. But overall, is it worth it? Well, for very specific cases that you just need a Caribbean passport, you want a neutral passport, for example, that has access to Russia and has access to the Schengen area as well, or a country that nobody knows about, or in your country you can't get a second passport and you have to get one because of any reason or any protection that you need, and the Caribbean is the easiest for you to get, then definitely go for that. But in my personal opinion, if you want to get access to Europe, there's way cheaper options like Latvia. You buy an apartment, you get the golden visa, and that's pretty much it. And then you can sell that at any point. You're not getting citizenship, but you can sell it at any point, you get your money back, and you have that golden visa. It's just going to cost you like 15K, 20K in fees. Or you can get citizenship by living in a place for a couple of years, like Argentina or other countries in Latin America, 2 to 3 years, and you get your citizenship in Latin America. A very solid passport, the same rights that you have as a Caribbean to travel visa-free to more than 140 countries around the world. Or you get citizenship by exception. Many of these programs, if you want to find out about them and all the details, there are new details, new programs for citizenship by exception. You can book a call with us in the link in the description. If you at least have $1 million to invest or multiple millions, where investing 250K or 300K in a country isn't that much for you, then we can definitely get that sorted for you. So overall, for very specific cases, I still think it's worth it. But for most people are not going to get Caribbean citizenship anymore. And in the case of Antigua, for example, they're extending the deadline, so you have a couple more days to apply. But for the rest of the countries, the price floor is set. It's not going to be 150K, it's not going to be 100K anymore. They have to meet the demands of the European Union. And overall, I think this is the start of the decline of the CBI industry. We're going to see what happens to Malta. We're going to see if that goes up in price. Maybe it goes up to 1.5 million, maybe 2 million, or maybe it gets scrapped altogether. Unfortunately, these programs are just not going to be that popular anymore. 300 grand for getting Caribbean citizenship, or you can get Turkish for 100 grand more in real estate, and then you just get a visa to go to the Schengen area. That seems like a better deal for most people. Now that the Caribbean citizenship programs are not as attractive, there are still some programs that you should consider in this region of the world, specifically if you're coming from Canada or any country that is close by. You don't want to go to Dubai, you don't want to go far away. You want to be somewhere close. For example, Barbados. You can get tax residency in as little as 2 weeks. You're not getting citizenship, but you have the potential to pay 0% capital gains tax in Barbados, and you don't actually have to live there all of the time. As long as you don't live in Canada or in the UK or any other place, or you renounce your US citizenship, you only need to spend 2 weeks per year in Barbados, and you can pay 0% tax there. Or other countries like Cayman Islands, or even Antigua, they have a flat tax program. So still look at the Caribbean for potential tax benefits, for residency, for permanent residency, maybe not for citizenship, but you can still look at this region. Many amazing investment opportunities that are still very profitable. If you have multiple millions of dollars to invest, but you're not really sure what country to pick or where to go with your money, I made a video on my $2 million real estate portfolio and countries that you might consider around the world to invest into real estate, so that you don't lose that money to donations or any payments. You actually invest it into real estate and you get amazing immigration benefits. Check out this video right here. My $2 million investment portfolio in real estate, international real estate portfolio. Check it out right here.